Hey everybody, Paddy here, and thank you for watching and listening to TFN, which stands for The Effin News. All positive news, this will give you a boost. Now today's show is packed with good Kiwis showing us all a positive way forward. First up, this is a real tough one, actually, the toughest we've done. I meet the extremely good Kiwis who look after kids who are facing their own deaths. And then in a change of tone to pure fun, I met a team of good Kiwis called the Goonies who've built a trolley in the shape of a pie to race downhill. Finally, one of our good Kiwis who decided to take on the world's gnarliest mountain bike race, Erice Van Leuven, ended up getting some gnarly injuries, but she's here to talk to us and she remains positive. Right, let's get into it. Time to meet our first good Kiwis. This show is all about positivity, and nobody needs and deserves positivity more than kids who are terminally ill. Now, these next two good Kiwis do just that. They are a doctor and a nurse who provide specialist palliative care to our dying kids. They help the kids and their families at the very end. I also speak to the family of a boy called Otis that they helped. Now, Otis died virtually a year ago today, and you might recognise his parents, Rachel and Tyson. They were contestants on The Block back in the day. This is an incredible story of unconditional positivity for our most needy. But the worst bit here is that their service, Rei Kōtuku in Wellington, serving kids all over the central region, is going to close because of a lack of funding.
So my name is Dr. Amanda Evans. I'm a specialist in children's palliative care.
And I'm Mary Bond, and I'm a paediatric palliative care clinical nurse specialist.
Why do you guys do what you do?
Facing the death of your child is the most painful thing that you could ever imagine, and I can't even imagine it because I've never walked in their shoes. But I think if we can do anything to take a little bit of that pain away or make it a little bit easier, then we know that we've absolutely won. We know we're doing the right thing.
There is nothing worse in the world than having a child who is very sick and have a child who is dying, but within that there is magic and there is joy, and a lot of that comes from just seeing through the bullshit, putting it aside, being really honest and open and kind and caring and loving, and allowing families to make the decisions that's right for them.
Hello, we're Rachel and Tyson. We're the parents of Otis Hill. Otis died aged 17 after a 2-year battle with cancer. We were so thankful that he was getting palliative care from Rei Kōtuku.
Oh, you would have loved Otis. He's so funny, so cheeky.
Funny. Yeah, so he got diagnosed terminal cancer and then spent every weekend playing on stage with his band.
So when I talk about Amanda, the palliative care doctor, and Mary, the palliative care nurse that came into your lives, what do you think when I say those names?
Thankful.
Angels. Yeah.
In a world of despair, to have that there, like, you probably think that it's like everything's shit, but it really meant so much to have them there and to let us be able to do what we did at home with Otis.
Yeah.
Without them, it would have been horrific, and we've heard stories about people that didn't have them, and they've just had to watch their children just wiggle and squirm
Die in
in pain till the last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Nobody needs to go through that. It's bad enough, but without specialised care, no. I just feel so sorry for any parent that has to do that without somebody, without angels like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the shit, like, and all the grossness of watching our son waste away, we had managed to have some beautiful moments in that time because we were able to look after him and be with him at home and eventually end up in hospice with the help from Amanda and Mary.
Yeah.
And so we do have those beautiful memories amongst all the
Yeah.
the heartache and heartbreak.
Would you say that they are good Kiwis?
Amanda's an amazing Kiwi. Mary is an amazing Kiwi. They're my favourite Kiwis.
Yeah, they really are.
I don't know. I actually don't know how they do their job. It's just incredible what they do. But you know when somebody cares about your child? We knew that Amanda and Mary, they built a relationship with Otis. He trusted them with his life, and they loved him. They cared about him. Yeah. I mean, they've got pictures up there of him and other children. Like, they care. Yeah.
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 Best Kiwis out. Best Kiwis out.
Our region is the central region.
Are you government funded?
No, we're not, no. So we're funded purely by a donor who really believed in helping us be able to provide the care to these children.
So you do not get 1 cent of health funding?
No, we don't, no.
Once your private funding runs out, what will happen?
So if we don't get government funding, then we'll end up closing down. Yeah. So it's actually really heartbreaking for us, you know, not for us personally, because we'll have to move on and get other jobs, but the fact that we're leaving these children behind, these children and families behind who actually really need the specialist care. Since we've been open, actually we opened in June 2023, we've cared for about 180 kids, and we've had about 40 deaths in that time. And so those are deaths that we've been involved with. We supported the families, we've got to know the siblings, we've provided bereavement follow-up if this is what they wanted. And I guess our worry is that once we close, there's actually going to be no one who's able to do that job.
So roughly how many deaths a year could that be in your region?
So probably about 30 deaths a year.
Honestly, how does that make you feel?
Oh my gosh. I just...
Pretty pissed off.
There's no words, because I don't understand why it actually can't be funded.
No.
There's no common sense to it. And I think that people are just too shocked and they don't want to think about children dying, and they just turn in a blind eye because they die behind closed doors. The grief is behind closed doors, and no one sees, politicians don't see the impact, you know, and sometimes I just feel like yelling at them and just saying, well, if this was your child, can you imagine? Yeah, it's just, and that's just not good enough for me. I think, I mean, it's a child's right to have access to an essential service just like adults. It's a child's right, like if they're dying, they need to be able to die with people who love them and with the dignity that they deserve and the peace, and they're able to, you know, like how do we make them, you know, give them good quality of life. So sometimes I've had kids who, you know, played on the last day of their life. You know, they're lying in bed and they're playing with their dinosaur, or they're, you know, or they're cracking jokes, or, you know, and then they die that day, and that's, you know, that leaves the family with beautiful memories. And actually their bereavement journey is not tarred by this absolute despair of the memory of their child suffering.
This is what I want other New Zealanders to know, okay, is that, and I never knew this, is that when your child's at the end of their life and they are gripped in pain and fear, you need a doctor who is specialised in that kind of care, in end-of-life palliative care, to manage their pain, to help the parents, because they just get it. They get young people, so then they get the young people's parents. They just understood everything we were going through before we even did. And it's just, yeah, that's what I want them to know, is that we don't realise, we didn't know that there was no specialised care for children who are dying and adolescents. And it is different because when you go into hospice, those nurses are used to dealing with old people, okay? So they're calling you dear and how are you, love? And, you know, a 17-year-old man, young man, doesn't want to be called dear and love. Like, they want to be treated like a normal child, like a normal young person.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what's going on? What, you know, how are you feeling today, Otis? Like, use his name.
What would you want to say about them as human beings?
Oh, okay. I'm going to take this from Otis. I love them. I actually do. You know, like, I actually think of Mary and Amanda like part of the family. And I would do anything to help them, help other families and other children who, and it's inevitable, it is going to happen again, because It's just life. Our kids get sick, and unfortunately some of them have to die. And if they're going to die, then I want them to have the support that we had from Amanda and Mary from Rei Kōtuku, because we wouldn't be the people we are today. We wouldn't be coping with what we've had to go through without the kind of help and support and love we had from them.
A lot of people will be wondering how you deal with what you see.
Being okay with your own sadness. Like, I absolutely love these kids, and I accept that I'm allowed to be sad. So I'm sad, we cry together, we talk, we've got a great team, we look after each other, and then we breathe and then go and see our next patient.
I'm all about positivity. I'm about finding positive things in life. What we've been talking about today is probably the most negative thing out there, or one of them, the death of a child. There is positivity in that, though. Clearly, you can find that, you too?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think there's something about the beauty of meeting people where they're at, and I had a family even just this week say, that there are so many blessings that come along with this really, really terrible, dark time. And she just described it so beautifully. She said it's like a treasure in the dark, and it's like that is something that I think it's like a diamond in the black sky. Like, it's, even though it is deeply sad, there are just these wonderful, beautiful, positive moments that we get to experience with these families. So that's why we're so incredibly lucky. And I think, yes, it's sad and it's hard to be amazingly positive about children's palliative care, but I think people come away going, there's a beauty, and that beauty is positive.
And I believe that at the end of our lives, whenever that may be, all we're really left with is our relationships with others. And when we get to know these families, we actually get to see the relationships between these families and the relationship between parents and children, and that love. And we've seen so many situations where we have been absolutely blown away by the love and the commitment and the sheer strength in these families, and we're always amazed by it. And so that's the positivity, that's the magic that we get to see.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to say a couple of things about what you just watched and listened to. How good would it be if all our kids with a terminal illness could get specialised palliative care at the end of their lives? Tragically, unbelievably, this does not happen. Now, I believe that every single New Zealand child should get this, the chance to die with dignity, to be a kid and be treated like a kid right to the end, to have their palliative care given to them by paediatric doctors and nurses who know exactly what they're doing. In the central region, 30 kids are set to die in the coming year without this specialised care. That's because Wellington service, as you heard there, Rei Kōtuku, gets zero public funding. They operate off a private donation, and it is running out. Zero public funding for this. Dr. Amanda Evans and Nurse Mary Bond have done the sums. They say we could have specialised palliative care for kids nationwide for $8 million. $8 million. That's all. The Wellington and Central region needs $1 million. $1 million. That's all to stop the suffering. Otis Hill died a year ago. He was 17 years old, 2 years of terminal cancer. Talking to his parents, Rachel and Tyson, was just the worst. Think about what they went through. They say this specialised palliative care was key. So thank you, Dr. Amanda Evans, good Kiwi. Thank you, Nurse Mary Bond, good Kiwi. You're the best good Kiwis, actually. Thank you, Rachel and Tyson, for sharing your story and for loving Otis to the end. But my main message is to Health New Zealand and the government. Fix this. Now it's time for something completely different. A beautiful celebration of gravity and gusto is happening this Saturday in the Domain in Auckland. It hasn't been here since 2015, but the Red Bull Trolley Grand Prix is back. What sort of group of Kiwi would it take to band together and build something to roll down the hill to almost certain crashes and disaster? Time to meet the Goonies. Hey everybody, Paddy here. This is Goodbye Mince Pie. It's a trolley, it's going to race, and I'm about to send the bloody thing thanks to the help of these good Kiwis.
I'm Cam, aka Maverick.
Okay, is it okay if I call you Maverick?
Hey man, call me whatever you like.
Yeah.
You're Paddy.
Yeah, Maverick. What is this? What are you going to be doing with it? How did you come up with it?
Well, mate, this is Goodbye Mince Pie. And we're going to be racing in the Red Bull Trolley Derby next Saturday.
Yeah, so tell me first about the Trolley Derby, or Derby. It's actually Derby.
It sounds like a whole lot of crazy people just racing things down hills or carts down hills.
Yeah, and this is your version of the go-kart, obviously.
Oh yeah, mate, this was a pristine build. Took us months and months of planning, but 5 days work.
In the end. Yeah. And what made you guys want to enter in this?
Oh, we thought it was just a bit of fun as a team. You know, we love to have fun as a team, our group. And we thought, yeah, let's enter, have a go.
No. Grunter!
Harrison, and I'm just here to eat pies, build the thing, and push him down the start line.
Nice one, mate. Nice one. So, Harrison, mate, you've helped construct this contraption.
Yeah.
Tell us what's in it.
Yeah, bit of an old lawnmower body, some bit of just 4x2s. Chucked the steering on, made the steering ourselves. Cam's old hammer is our new brake.
No. Grunter!
You're not gonna make me feel good. And you've got a bit of steering leeway there. Beautiful. Moving on you, Paddy.
Shit, mate.
You can turn, you bastard!
Oh yeah, Jesus. Is that it? There's pies involved, obviously, because it looks like a pie.
Yeah, it's a triangle slice of a piece of pie to its heritage, Goodbye Mince Pie.
Yeah. And how fast can this go, and how do you win when you're in the trolley derby?
Oh, we just did a brief run down there. Did about 88 miles per hour.
Down here?
Yeah, just down here.
Yeah, and how fast will you go on the day?
Oh, I reckon we'll probably get it up to about 88 miles an hour.
Okay, and what do you need to do to win?
You've got to be the most creative, you've got to go the fastest, and you've got to impress the judges with your go-kart.
That's the signal for send it, eh?
Yeah,
Send it?
send it actually then.
Send it.
Like that,
Send
like
it.
that. Like that.
Send it. Send it. Send it.
We don't want to be responsible for killing Paddy in our trolley.
Woo! Did I send it or what?
It was pretty good.
I wouldn't want to be riding this downhill over obstacles through Auckland Domain with 50 to 60 other people in it and no brakes, so somebody else can take over. The Red Bull Trolley Grand Prix is on this Saturday in Auckland's Domain. It's a great family day out, and it basically runs all day from about 9 in the morning right through to the afternoon. Now, I always say this after a good Kiwi. If you know of a good Kiwi who you want to dob in, who is making a real difference to the community, email me, paddy@tfn.co.nz. Now, 2 weeks ago, we had a good Kiwi on the show called Erice Van Leuven. She was off to take on Red Bull Hardline, which is the gnarliest mountain bike race in the world. Now, Erice did extremely well there. She qualified. But during a practice run for the big race, she had a crash, the biggest crash of her life, doing the biggest jump of her life. She's in hospital over there with serious injuries, and I spoke to her from her hospital bed in Tasmania. Erice, my first question is this: are you okay?
Yep, I'm all good. Yeah, no, I'm all good. I'm sweet. I'm chilling, having some rest.
And what injuries do you have? It looks quite serious from what I can see there.
Yeah, so I've got a C6 fracture, so that's on my neck. It's like, you got 7C, so it's quite low on my neck. That's why I've got this whole chest brace on as well to keep me completely stable. I've got a T6 on my vertebra on my back, T6, T8 wedge fracture, and then my T4 and 5 are a little bit compressed as well. They're not fractured through, which is great. I've also got a punctured lung, 2 lacerations in my liver, and a broken wrist.
Whoa, so you've got a broken neck, a broken back, a broken wrist, and a punctured lung, at least.
Yeah.
And how did this happen? This was obviously out on the Red Bull Hardline course.
Yeah. I just came a bit short on the 85-foot jump. I had done like two laps of it fine already, but just wasn't going quite fast enough. I came a bit short and went like that and over the bars.
Yeah, so it's an 85-foot gap jump, is it? So you had to clear an 85-foot gap, is that right? And you didn't clear it?
Yeah, didn't quite make it.
And was that because you weren't going fast enough? I mean, how fast did you need to be going to get over that, do you think?
The 2 times I've done it, I think I was going about 75, and that time I was only going about 70 kilometres an hour. So.
And was that the biggest jump you'd ever done? I think, was that the biggest jump you'd ever done?
Yeah, it was definitely.
It must have been scary.
Yeah, it's pretty scary, but getting over it twice was pretty awesome. It was a lot of fun, but until it wasn't.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Red Bull Hardline, which is the gnarliest mountain biking course on earth. It's obviously, now you would agree that it is quite gnarly.
Oh, yeah.
And you had cleared it, you had qualified, so just explain that to people. You'd actually made it through, hadn't you?
Yeah, so the morning of like qualifying was the first time I hit the whole course. So yeah, my teammate and I got through the whole thing, which was awesome. We were fit and having heaps of fun. And then at qualifying, I got a flat tire in qualifying, so I couldn't complete the bottom jump. So I just rolled around them. But that was right. I still qualified for the race. And then in the morning of practicing the race run is when I crashed. That was my first run of the day. Yeah.
I mean, what did it feel like, that collision? Because you're flying through the air at 70k an hour when you collide, aren't you?
Yeah, it wasn't very fun. I remember landing when I first didn't quite make the jump, and then I don't remember the rest because I hit my head and was out unconscious for a bit, but not too long. I think 15 seconds.
And what have the other riders had to say about it? What do they make of it?
Oh, they think it was pretty gnarly. Yeah, I haven't seen too many of them because I've been in the hospital. But yeah, my teammates come in and we've had yarns and whatnot, so it's been good. Yeah, it was a pretty big crash.
And when will you be able to come back? When will you be able to recover from your injuries?
I got to be in hospital until my lungs fully heal, and then I'll once that's good, I've got a week to hang out in Hobart, and then I can fly again back home and start the process properly.
And I guess the question that everybody's wondering is, will you attempt Red Bull Hardline again?
Oh, for sure I will. It's just too fun,
All right, Erice, thank you very much, and recover quickly. We look forward to seeing you back on that bike soon.
Cool, thanks.
Well, all the best, Erice. You really are a good Kiwi. You might be a bit of a Kiwi with a few injuries at the moment, but they will heal by the sounds of things, and can't wait to see you back on that bike real soon. Well, everybody, that is TFN for another week. If you hear of anything or know of anything that can bring some positivity to the world of news in this country, get in touch. Paddy@tfn.co.nz. See yous next week.